Triple Dragoon, one of the two ways to play competitive Dark Magician, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And I'm going to show you guys the profile and the various angles you can spit a Dragoon onto the field and potentially OTK your opponent. If you guys like the sound of that, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, ding the notification bell, and let's jump right in. Starting off with the main monster line, let's be very careful with these Dark Magician 25th anniversary from Battle of Chaos. They are 1 in 72 boxes or 1 in 6 cases. This is going to be a hard find, so best of luck on your pulls. And I'm going to put them away in top loaders very soon once I'm done. I might even send one to go get itself graded. Yeah, one of them is actually really pristine. But yeah, the whole deck revolves around it. It's your key fusion material, your Dark Magical Circle proc, your Eternal Soul Revival card, and everything just kind of revolves around it. That's a Dark Magician deck after all. We have one Red Eyes Black Dragon. It's the brick of the deck, but it's not too bad because you can shuffle it back into the top of the deck. Well, it's not really shuffling. You put it back to the top of the deck thanks to Illusion of Chaos. So yeah, we play Red Eyes Fusion. Next, we have Timaeus, triple Timaeus. This is poly on legs, and it's also very big with a 2800 attack stat. So this card is super easy to summon. All you have to do is send a spellcaster monster from your field or hand to the graveyard, or you can send a spell or trap card that lists Dark Magician. With the amount of synergy you have with the Magician Rod, the Magician's Soul, every single spell card more or less naming Dark Magician, this is a very easy summon. And it alone threatens Dragoon. If you have it on the field and you're holding a Dark Magician, you probably want to activate this card just to fuse it a Dragoon onto the field, making the rest of your play really safe. It's like having a Herald of Ultimateness next to the first play you do, and you can really just go off and just control the game. And since Dragoon is a win con on its own, leaving it on board is never an option for your opponent, and you haven't even locked yourself out of summoning. That's why it's really good. But don't use it for Guardian Chimera. You will not proc any of the effects because it is not a spell. Next we have Magician's Soul. Now, to kind of talk about Timaeus, Magician's Soul, and Magician's Rod, I have to say that this deck, in terms of how you want to start your hand, you want to sculpt it as much as possible to getting the Rod Souls and Timaeus or the Apprentice Illusion. You need one copy of Dark Magician in your hand, ideally at some point, so that Timaeus can be like a surprise threat. That's kind of where I'm standing with that, but luckily Magician's Soul, Rod, and Timaeus are all searchable thanks to the new card, but we'll get to that. This is your draw power, and thanks to Magician's Rod and the new field spell Magician's Salvation, you'll at least have one thing to send to get the additional draw. I also play Metalfoes Fusion for the draw, so that now we're drawing 3 cards instead of just 2, and that's, to me, a little bit more ideal. And you have discard fodder for the Dragoon for the Metalfoes Fusion. I think it's just self-explanatory there. And Souls and Rod are the combination that typically go into Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Now this is your Omni search for any Magician, Dark Magician spell or trap card, and load for the one that you don't have. If you already have Circle, you probably want Salvation. If you have Salvation or anything like that, or you set up your top deck already so that you have one draw for free thanks to Soul Servant, get the Soul Servant. Soul Servant set up and then load up the grave. That's kind of how it works. Don't forget to use the graveyard effect of this card. This is really important, more essential than before, because you want to load your hand back. One of the biggest struggles with Dark Magician is that your hand size starts to dwindle, and retaining that hand is going to require you to put in a little bit of effort. Luckily, Magician's Rod is that monster to help you reload. If you play the Magician's Circle plus the Eternal Soul, you get that combination to do the banish, and you know your opponent's going to pop your Eternal Soul. Don't be afraid to activate Magician's Rod to tribute that Dark Magician, and the Dragoon is not going to get popped. Dragoon is immune to destruction, so you let him pop your Predaplant Verte, you leave the Dragoon, and you got the Magician's Rod back, and you have an additional negate if you have 2 Dragoons. That's why, and this also gives you the follow-up the next turn, and you still top deck whatever card you want. This whole game with Dark Magician is that you have Heart of the cards every turn. Finally, we are going into the girls. We have our Apprentice Illusion and Dark Magician Girl. If you open both of them, that's probably the perfect hand because you get to get your Soul Servants to draw 2 cards. Essentially, your deck now has 3 quick play Pot of Greeds. It's pretty fun. I guess you can only use it once per turn, but still you have 3 Pot of Greeds in your deck, so I can't really complain. Also search for the Dark Magician, making Timaeus a lot more live. I kind of want to play an extra copy of Apprentice Illusion because of that simple factor. Next, we also have Triple Illusion of Chaos. This is your Omni search. This searches for any monster that's not a ritual, I believe, that lists Dark Magician in its name. So, yeah. But at the cost of, well, not really cost, at the effect of top decking one of the cards in your hand. So you can fix some of the bricks that you don't want to see and put it back. Or any of the dupes that you have, you can put it back. And you can choose when you want to shuffle your deck by activating cards that would restack the deck. So that's the lineup for monsters. For the spells, we have the Omni Searcher of Preparation of Rites. All it does is search Illusion of Chaos, and it does nothing else. Yeah, because Illusion of Chaos can search for all your monsters, essentially turning prep rights into your Rhoda. Next, we have Dark Magical Circle. Check the top 3 cards of your deck, look for a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician spell or trap card, and add it to your hand. You reveal that one, you don't show the other 3 cards to your opponent, and you can restack the deck based off of what you saw in the other 2. And if you play Upstart Goblin at that point, that's when you draw the card that you want, because you can fix a card that you can't typically draw thanks to Upstart Goblin. Therefore, heart of the cards, baby. That's all I can say. And don't forget to summon out Dark Magicians with these while they're on the field. They are your Omni Banish from anything on the field. Target, banish, it's good to go. And next we have Forbidden Chalice. You only need to break the board to some degree. Let's just face it. Once Dragoon comes out onto the field, the board is dead. You're going to pop cards and you're just going to just go for a game. They're going to take a lot of damage. So you only need to break certain parts that would threaten your ability to summon. Luckily, every turn offers you 3 times to summon out that Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So if they only have 2, you can negate 1, you can put 2, and they kind of die. And you just need some sort of simplified negation. This is a flex spot. Use it to adapt to whatever meta it is. Here's your Heart of the Cards, Pot of Greed. Fix the top card. Don't forget to set this card during your opponent's turn, because if you set it, you can activate it during their turn. Fix the top deck so that you will have, well, Destiny draw. You're going to draw whatever card that you need that lists Dark Magician. And once it hits the graveyard, again, you get to draw another card. So as long as you load it with a Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl, these become Pot of Greeds. And you can also put them into the graveyard with Foolish Burial Goods. And speaking of Foolish Burial Goods, there's another actual Upstart Goblin in here. This one shuffles the deck. So if you have something that you don't want to draw, that you just put back, then you play Metal Foes Fusion. And this is really good with Magician's Soul, because it's kind of the good old days of drawing whatever card that you want. Like, you get to draw an extra card. So you send this to draw 1 and send this again to draw again, and I don't think there's any complaints there. So yeah, it turns your send 2 to draw 2 to like a send 2 to essentially draw 3. And there's actually one more card, which is Upstart Goblin. I want to explain this one separately, because you should fix the top deck of your card so you can draw whatever you want. So if you go Magician's Circle, you get the card that you can get, but put the card that you want on top, and then you upstart it back into your hand that you can't actually have. Like, if it doesn't list the name of Dark Magician, or it's a monster card, you can't add it. This is the way to actually do it. So it turns Upstart into kind of an Omni Rhoda. For fusion spells, we have 5. We have Magical Eyes Fusion, which is even better now because you can quite easily go into a Dragoon, and thanks to Tamias. And then we have 2 Red Eyes Fusions, because you can open it, and that's fine too. And you can always like send the extra copy to the graveyard for Magician's Soul to redraw cards, or just pay cost for Dragoon. And we have 1 Secrets of Dark Magic. Magical Eyes Fusion works really well, especially when your Tamias is already set up, and you threaten Tamias, they negated it, you follow it with a Magical Eyes Fusion, you get there anyway, you put up 2 more monsters, you make a Verte, now you send the Red Eyes Fusion, that's 2 Dragoons worth, that's gonna kill somebody at some point. And Secrets of Dark Magic is a card I would prefer to set personally, because you're using this card. You can make a Dragoon, but I think this card is more useful in a case where you play blindly to make Dragoon on your own turn, or you set it during opponent's turn to make Guardian Chimera to pop their cards, and you'll be able to draw cards again. Make sure you have, if you want to pop 2 cards, you put 2 monsters on the field and 1 card in your hand. If you want to draw 2 cards and pop 1, you put 2 cards in your hand and 1 card on the field, and you'll be able to get the appropriate amount. But do know, if you use Guardian Chimera, you have to have both the popping effect and the drawing effect live at the time you activate it. Otherwise, you can't activate, because it's not optional. Yeah, you have. If you can't do both, you can't use it, kind of deal. But if you already activate it and then remove something, then you do as much as possible. Just getting that out of the way. And finally, we have the field spell of Magician Salvation. This card, if you special summon a Dark Magician, you can target it, it summons out a Dark Magician Girl. If Dark Magician Girl gets summoned, you summon out a Dark Magician. So that's great, but when you activate this card, you set an Eternal Soul. And let's just get Eternal Soul out of the way. We have 2 copies of Eternal Soul. Alright, so starting off with the lineup, we have triple Dark Dragoon for our boss monsters. It's just a win con. You summon it as much as possible. This is a turbo that revolves around this whole deck. Next, we have our Dark Magicians, Master of Chaos, and Mysterian, the Crown Dragon. These are just texts that you can use just in case you just open all Magicians. You want to load the grave with Dark Magician Girl. There's the Dark Magician. Although you can fuse it with another spellcaster. I don't know how often I'm gonna do it anymore now that I can just easily spit out Dragoon. But yeah, it's an option. We have also Master of Chaos. Whatever that Dragoon can't answer, this is what it's for. You need a light monster to revive to do it, or you need a light monster already on the field. So if you fuse it with the Timaeus, make sure that you leave Timaeus on board so you can send Timaeus to the graveyard with the dark monster that it's going to summon out to wipe their board. So this is what it does. And if it gets destroyed, you can add a spell back to your hand. So it gives you a follow-up too. And Mysterion is a floodgate. Well, it kind of gates away Sword Soul. Anything that summons itself or summons out something with the same type as it, you get to banish all of that type on the field, and you can use it as a mass board wipe. Really, really good. Then we have finally the last fusion with Guardian Chimera, only for book of another book. Keep calling it a book, but it's Secrets of the Dark Magic for the fusion spell. That's the only quick play fusion spell I can think of that can fuse into this, and that gives me an opponent's turn disruption. That's why it matters. Other decks invoked, I think it's really scary when they activate on their own turn with Meltdown, because massive pops, uninterruptible. But yeah, that's why this card is really good, and you should just consider running one copy. Don't use Timaeus. Timaeus will not proc it. It's not a spell. As for Link monsters, we play 2 copies of Predaplant Vert Anaconda. If you expect your opponent to pop your Vert Anaconda, then you should go into a Vert Anaconda first and save the second Vert Anaconda just in case. And if they do the pop effect first, then when you make the second one, they're probably not going to have any way to respond to it. And that's how it is. Usually they want to let it activate and negate it and then move on. For a little bit of follow-up tech, we have 1 Dark, the Gloomy Charmer, and we also have Unicorn. If they play any dark monster, you can go into Dark, steal that monster, and just go, whoop, we got a Nightmare Unicorn, just wipe. It's pretty good. I do like it. I kind of want to play another Link monster just in case I can go into access code. If I can steal a Link 2 from my opponent's graveyard, which most people, I don't know if they actually have a Dark Link 2, maybe an IP Masquerena. If you steal one of those, oh my god, that access code is so free. Yeah, that's an option. Maybe I can play an access code in here. I think there is space for it, to be honest. And as for our final 2 links, we have 1 Link Spider. You have to play Link Spider. You have to turn your Dark Magician into a Link Spider at some point in all the games that you're going to play, because you want to revive it, and maybe you want to turn that Dark Magician into a Vert Anaconda, and you can't do it with a normal monster. So, Link Spider. I play 1 Link Reboot. This could honestly just be an access code target, to be honest. It's really easy to get in there, and if you get into a Link 2, which a lot of people do have, it's definitely worth it. And then finally, we play Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon and 1 Aezu Sky Thunder. The reason for this package is if you're going to be burning your opponent with the Dragoon stuff, locking them out from activating any further effects is probably one way to secure game. And Zeus is just Zeus. Maybe we can cut the Zeus instead. I just like Zeus, and if I have a way to get into Zeus, I would try Zeus. Check out MST.TV if you guys want to get your hands on some of the stuff you see in today's video. The products here are made by us here at MST.TV, and we've got some oversleeves, we've got some foil sleeves. These oversleeves, they fit into our own stuff, so you can always keep it nice and protected, keep them nice and shiny. They're very beautiful, by the way. And they even work with some of the existing sleeves that are, just Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Japanese card size. You got OG Orange and our Alpha Reds, our first series, and we also have our tournament series of, our Carbon series of white, and they fan out super smoothly, effortless fanning, and has an awesome shuffle feel. So if you guys want to check it out at MSTmerch.com, get your hands on them today. Test time, we're going to see if we can actually open with the double Dragoon. Dragoon 1 is going to be easy. You're always guaranteed almost like 2 summons, so we'll see where this one takes us. We got the Rod, that's good. That's a good opening. Black Magician in hand is not bad. This is actually a good hand. This is better than I thought. Okay. Let's see if we can get ourselves our hands into a Timaeus. Even if we can't, we'll try to push for something else. We've got Magician's Souls here. Souls is good. We'll go for activating of Souls first. We'll dump into the graveyard our Dark Magician Girl. We have Dark Magician in hand already. That means the girl is the one to go to the grave now. With that, special summon. Foolish Barrel Goods gives us an additional draw, but we can fix up our hand a little bit by going to Magician's Rod. Magician's Rod adding Soul Servant. We go for Soul Servant, and we're going to fix our top deck. We can fix it so that Magician's Circle, Magical Circle is guaranteed to give us a card, and then we get a random draw. So we go Soul Servant. What we're going to put is the field spell, Salvation. Magician's Salvation to the top of the deck. Alright, we put this to the top of the deck. Put this in the grave. And we play Magical Circle. What do you know? We're guaranteed a hit. And, okay, well, we get this. The other 2 cards. Oh, Timaeus. I want the Timaeus. We'll put Timaeus to the top. Now we have a weird position to be in. Okay, we're gonna activate Soul Servant to get the card right away so we don't get rid of our own Timaeus. So we have gotten Timaeus. We haven't used Magician's Soul just yet, so we're gonna activate the Salvation. This lets us set up our Eternal Soul. And next, we can definitely get rid of this card and the Salvation to give us the 2-card draw. Now we can go Foolish Burial Goods first and, well, take a gamble, but I don't think I want to take that risk. Because if we play Foolish Burial Goods and if we draw into another monster, Magician's Soul doesn't give us the 2-card draw. But although 1 card is okay, I think 2-card might be better. So Magician's Soul will send these 2 spells to draw a card. 2 cards. Oh, hello. That actually worked out. Okay, we got Prep Rights. We're going to activate Prep Rights. In other words, you got to learn to weave through your own plays here. And we already have Timaeus. We have everything, more or less. Okay, so we're going to activate Timaeus. We're going to send to the graveyard the Illusion. We're going to summon out the Timaeus. From here, we're going to activate Timaeus. We're going to fuse from the Dark Magician in our hand. That's going to give us a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So Goon 1 is live. We're going to get rid of these 2. You can go into Predaplant Vertanaconda. With Vertanaconda, we can activate Vertanaconda, feeling very safe that we have a Dragoon here. And we're going to send Red Eyes Fusion, sending the remaining vanillas into the grave. And summon out a second Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. This is actually pretty good. I actually like this. Here's one thing I would recommend to do is try to use the Eternal Soul as early as possible. This is not going to pop any of your cards, but you're using the Eternal Soul in this case to special summon out Dark Magician, and when Dark Magician gets summoned out, it activates Dark Magical Circle, that banishes a card, and when Dark Magical Circle activates and resolves, you can activate the Magician's Rod, get rid of your own Dark Magician, tributing it and adding this back to your hand, still giving you a 2-negate hand. So that's what we're aiming for. And that means this is a 3 disruption board thanks to Dark Magician. And if these, of course, when they live on the field, you win the game. That's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button. Good luck playing your Dark Magicians. Whichever build that you're choosing to play, you're going to kick some ass. That's what I'm thinking. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell. We got a lot more deck profiles coming out. I'm going to try everything that I can get my hands on, and I'm going to update everything to the new ban list. That's going to be pretty exciting for you guys. And you know what? I'm also going to be doing some more Master Duel. I got to cover all the good rares and commons you guys can build. And don't forget to check out MST.TV. I'll see you guys in the next one.